So at this time though, you're still having talks with Shady?
So, all right, Shady would be a little bit before that. So what happened was I had all this music. I have my first meeting with Riggs, and as I'm playing my demo to Riggs, Riggs is doing paperwork, being real disrespectful. That's how I felt. And he just not nodding his head, not nothing. And I'm like, all right. So I never respected celebrity. Like I always looked at it like, yo, you a human being, and just because you have more notoriety, you can't treat me no type of way. I wasn't gonna take it. I'll beat you up. So, or at least try to. So, right there, what he was doing, he was mad cool. But when he was doing that, I was feeling some type of way. And then he goes like this. He's like, yo, he shuts it off. And he's like, yo, man, everybody bought demos up here. Axel Leon was just up here, came up with some fire joint. Paul loved this demo, and he's just boasting about other people. Diverse was up here, and even Jin. He said Jin came up there. Jin was off the Rough Riders deal. And he goes, yeah, man, but this is the best demo anybody ever bought up here. So now my eyes open. I'm like, bro, the director of A&Rs just told me I just bought the best demo. And he was like, I would sign you right now. I was like, it's over. Top of the world, baby. We made it. You know what I'm saying? No more ramen noodles. It's over, son. So I thought that, we was about to go somewhere. He said, let me bring this to Paul. So then one day I'm at work and he calls me and I hide and I'm like, yo, what's up? And I see the number and I'm like, oh, Shady, yo, what's up? And he like, yo, I played the demo to Paul and we're not gonna sign you right now. Paul thought you were dope, but you need to make records like, and he starts naming like the top 10, like whatever was popping on the radio. And I had this stubborn artistic pride where I'm just like, I'm me, bro. Like, I don't want to do a What Up Gangster. Like, that's what one of them he said. Do a What Up Gangster like 50 Cent. Do another one fast rhyming like Buster. Like, I'm not them. And that's what that was my issue with the industry. It's like I was always meant to be independent. I hate that. Give me a record that sounds like no. So, anyways, I was discouraged. I was pissed. All this stuff ends up happening with Bizarre. And I tell Bizarre all of this. And Bizarre tells me, yo, I'm gonna bring you to M. And Bizarre brought Obi Trice to M, but he didn't want to bring me solo. He wanted to bring FYL because they were in love with them. So he said, I want to bring y'all as a group. And that's what we were working on to get with Shady through Bizarre. And then Proof died, and that none of that ever happened.
Wow. So basically what happened was you were doing a solo thing and then at the same time went with the group for Shady.
Yeah. So I was doing the solo thing, and Nems was also simultaneously taking meetings with Riggs.
Right.
They wanted to, if you know the criteria, the standard back then, it's just like, yo, they didn't really care about how dope you were at the time. It was like how gangster you were, how, you know what I'm saying? And they liked the whole how Nems rapped, the FYL thing. They were in love with that joint. So and then Nems is just dope too, you know what I'm saying? So that's why they definitely took a liking into Nems too. So we was both taking meetings, and when we started messing with Bizarre, it was supposed to be as a group.
That's crazy, man. So when Proof ended up dying, right? That is what set it off to like, this is not gonna happen now.
Yeah. Proof, bro. We were just with them. That battle that you see where Nems battled Marv and I battled Scarchild. Wait, was that? Yeah, that's that night. Yo, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that happened on a Friday, and that Sunday, he passed away. So when we came home, I was like, yo, we was just with him, and I assumed. So that night that we was battling, he had issues with somebody he was once down with They got into some beef, and I heard that they scrapped that night. So when I came home and I got the news when I was working, I assumed that it was that beef. Like, bro went and
Wait, they scrapped at the event?
after the event, they scrapped. I wasn't there to see that. So I heard one of the dudes got belligerent, and the one of those dudes is from my city. He's from North. He got belligerent, and I heard Proof had to beat the brakes off of him. So I just thought that maybe he lingered around and then, caught him. But it had nothing to do with that dude. It was at this bar, and some crap happened at the bar.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. I interviewed my guy Mark Hicks, and he spoke about that in depth, and that situation is still like a real big thing, obviously in Detroit. You know what I mean? Very sad. Who were you closest to in D12? Bizarre?
I would say I was closest to Bizarre because he's the first one that brought me in. And I feel like I spent the most time with him, but I started talking to Proof more often right before he passed, because Proof was trying to do his own battle thing apart from Bizarre on the East Coast, and he wanted me in the battles. So he was calling me often to see, like, yo, what's your availability there? If I come over here, boom, 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 would you be down? I'm like, yo, just say when. So we were talking often. Yeah, I would say like equally, bro. It's cool with them equally. Later on, I would go to rock with Conniver more. After I became a Christian, I don't know, for whatever reason, Bizarre stopped picking up or stopped tapping in with me. But yeah.
What was your reaction though when Proof passed away, man?
Man, I was hurt, bro. I couldn't believe it. Yo, I would say this, bro, and I don't want to offend anybody else. I think out of every celebrity I've ever met, I feel like he's the coolest. Like, Bizarre was cool. Bizarre was mostly quiet and laughed a lot at stuff we said. But I had a life-changing conversation with Proof, bro. That I really feel like God used to kind of like start steering me away from some of the things. Like, I remember my very first time meeting Proof. Uh, it was the first time they brought us over there. I won this battle. I had the Death and Rebirth of on me, and I gave one to the Nine. I gave one to Swifty, and they just didn't seem that interested. Everybody was very impressed with Nems that night. First and foremost, kind of got to backpedal a little bit. They was impressed because in Detroit is black and it's white. There's no Puerto Rican. So Puerto Ricans don't say, the N-word out there. It's just like, yo, if you're not black, you don't say it. But we from the East, so me and Nems is dropping M-bombs all day. Before we go up to the battle, Bizarre stops the whip, and he like, yo, two things y'all do you don't do when you up there. Don't bang your hood, and don't say the N-word. Because he hear us all in the back, and we, you know what I'm saying? And we go, and we do exactly what he told us not to do, and they loved it. When Nems with the whole F your life, Coney Allen and his mother, like, they loved it. So I think that's why it, like, I remember somebody saying, it was like, yo, they was laughing about it, but he said, yo, they came over here and called us niggas in our face and everything, slapped the table. Just the way he thought, I was like, dag, like, it's like that with y'all? Like, oh, we over there, we all together, we use that word. So, but it made them like Nems more. So now while I'm passing out my demo, they seem more impressed by like Nems. He was funny, he killed this battle, he battled X Factor, it was mad funny. He came with his A game. But Proof took a liking to me. So I go to Proof now, I give Proof my demo. And Proof is like, yo, come with me real quick. So we walk through this hallway, we go into this office, he closed the door, and he's like, yo, I want to give you something. And he starts pulling out these CDs, and his last album, the Where's Jerry Garcia, didn't even come out yet.
Yeah, Searching for Jerry Garcia.
Yeah, Searching for Jerry Garcia. And he gave me the CD. He said, this is about to drop. So, and he gave me one joint called the Hip Hop Shop. It was like stuff I never seen before, in the stores. And I told him, I say, yo, he was like, yo, you fire, bro. Keep going. I said, yeah, man, I'm trying to get right where you at. And here goes this dude, beautiful Escalade in the front. He got the big P chain with the diamonds. They had the freaking band song on the radio. And he tells me, yo, nah, bro. He's like, yo, you don't want to be where I'm at. That's what he told me. You don't want to be where I'm at. It ain't everything it's cracked up to be, bro. It's like, yo, keep doing it for the love. Like, he said, once it becomes a job, it's nothing fun about this joint. And I'm just like, that was profound to me. Like, oh, you got everything and you don't want it? Like, all right, maybe this ain't everything it's cracked up to be, which I would soon later find out. But yeah. So I remember he dropped that nugget and I appreciated it. I always appreciated Proof. I appreciated that when I called, he picked up his phone. Yo, Datin, what's up? I'm like, I'm stunting in front of my friends.
That's crazy, bro, because I've heard you tell this story before, but I've never heard you say it was Proof, though. Like, I've heard you say, like, kind of disguise his identity as some multi-millionaire, you know.
Yep, I got a song called Long Way Down on my album called The Roar. And the first verse is about, you know, Proof. And I don't know why I didn't say his name. I guess I just kind of thought like I don't want to sound like clout chaser-ish. And I mentioned Pam from Total's name because I asked her. You know, Proof wasn't around for me to ask. But now I'm just like, yo, man, like, yeah.
No, you honoring him, bro.
Yeah, I'm honoring him. Yeah,
him.
yeah.
You know what I'm
so
saying?
it's not clout chasing. I'm honoring my bro.
Look, like you and I have had conversations, like no matter what you do, somebody gonna try to twist it.
Absolutely.
Other than the way that you intended, right? As long as you know your true intentions is pure, that's what matters the most, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, bro.
For sure, man. Damn, that's crazy, man. Rest in peace to Proof, bro.
Yeah,
That's
rest in peace.
Tragic loss, man.
Good dude.
Yeah, definitely. Everything that I've ever heard, like people talk about him, like has always been really like in a positive light. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yo, son, he act like a normal dude, bro. Like I meet a lot of these celebrities and they act like they float, bro, and they walk on water. And he was normal. Bazaar was too, bro. Conniver is too. Like, yo, they three of the coolest celebrities I've ever met. You know what I'm saying? I've met people I'm just like, yo, man, this dude sucks. Like, but they was mad cool.
So then, like, there was this other story where you're like riding around with Bazaar and you asked him, like, yo, where's M at?
Yeah.
Like, how come M is not around and stuff? Because you had never met M at that point, right?
Never. I still never met M. So
right.
I remember we had just went to the Coney Island to eat, and Bazaar, man, me and him connected like, yo, he used to live in my hood for a little while. So we would always have these cool conversations. And I just remember once, you know, being like, yo, Busy, what's up with M? They would call him Marshall. You know what I'm saying? You're like, what's up with why he never out with us? Why he don't come to the battles? Why we never been around him? And he just said, like, yo, Marshall don't come out the house, bro. Like, you crazy? He just stay home. And I'm like, yo, so he don't enjoy his money, bro? He's a freaking gazillionaire. He don't do nothing. And he just looked at his bodyguard, and his bodyguard like chuckled, and then he looks at me, he goes, yo, money ain't everything, bro. Money don't mean just because you got money don't mean you happy. And I was like, damn, another like disappointing. I need one of y'all to affirm my dreams and aspirations and tell me you happy, but I keep hearing that y'all not happy. And then I'm thinking,
right, because you looking at them as like, this is where I want to go, but
and none of them want to be there. So I'm just like, dang, that sucks. And shortly after, that's when you found out that he was depressed and on drugs. So
wait, was this after Proof had already died?
I think it was. Yeah, it was after Proof had already passed. Yep. Wait, did I get with? Yes, it was after Proof already passed.
Yep. Wow.
This was around the time when I had Battle PL and that DVD.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because the PL battle happened the year after he passed, right?
Yep. Happened the year after.
Wow, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.